Past Lives Ending Explained. What Nora and Hae Sung's final scene means past lives ending is a thought-provoking conclusion to the complex and beautiful love story. A semi-autobiographical work from first-time filmmaker Celine Song, Past Lives revolves around 24 years in the lives of two childhood friends, Nora and Hae Sung, as they grow apart after Nora's family emigrates to Toronto and eventually reconnect later in life. Past Lives made an unprecedented cultural splash that ended up resulting in 2 Oscar nominations, Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay for Song, which is practically unheard of for a little indie darling like this. The first half of the movie follows Nora and Hae Sung's relationship from their early childhood friendship to their reconnection over Skype from opposite ends of the world. At the midpoint, the two are reunited in New York, and thanks to the build-up, the reunion has the appropriate emotional wallop. The second half of the movie sees Nora and Hae Sung wandering around the city, pondering what could have been. Past Lives ends with Nora walking Hae Sung to his taxi and bidding him farewell. Hae Sung's last line to Nora in this scene has a deeper meaning to unravel. After having dinner with Nora and her husband Arthur on his last night in New York, Hae Sung returns to their apartment and orders an Uber. Nora walks Hae Sung down the street to the pickup point and waits for his Uber with him. For a while, they don't say any words to each other. They just share a lengthy, meaningful gaze into each other's eyes. When Hae Sung finally thinks of something to say, it's worth the wait. Following on from their discussion of past lives, he wonders if the life that they're currently living is a past life. He asks Nora what kind of relationship they'll have in the next life, and she says she doesn't know. Hae Sung says, "I'll see you then," before getting in his Uber and leaving for the airport. After spending the whole movie lamenting the fact that he has this beautiful connection with someone he cares about, and nothing will ever come of it due to extenuating circumstances, Hae Sung's final line has a refreshing hint of optimism. People grow closer with each new incarnation, so Hae Sung is optimistic that in the next life, he and Nora will be even closer. At the very end of Past Lives, after walking Hae Sung to his Uber and returning home to her husband, Nora breaks down in tears. This emotional breakdown isn't necessarily as black and white as Nora wishing she'd stayed with Hae Sung instead of moving to New York and marrying someone else. It's much more complicated than that. Nora didn't anticipate how emotional it would be to say goodbye to Hae Sung. She regrets that life got in the way of her connection with Hae Sung, and maybe even feels guilty that she left an old love behind to find new love. Nora and Hae Sung both cared deeply for each other. The fact that they were so close as 12-year-olds, then picked up right where they left off when they reconnected online 12 years later, then picked up where they left off and reconnected yet again another 12 years later, proves that there is a truly special bond between these two people. But do they love each other? All throughout the movie, it's pretty clear that Hae Sung is madly in love with Nora, and he wishes they could be together. But Nora is a different story. The question of whether Nora loves Hae Sung is complicated. She's not in love with him, but she clearly has strong feelings for him. There's no question that Nora loves Arthur, even when Arthur himself has doubts. Nora assures him she's not going to leave him for Hae Sung. But she has undoubtedly pondered the what-if scenario of what would have happened if she never lost touch with Hae Sung. When they were kids, they seemed destined to spend their lives together. Hae Sung will always have a special place in Nora's heart, even if she doesn't love him. The thematic backbone of Past Lives, and the meaning of its title, is taken from the Korean Buddhist concept of Inyon. It generally refers to the idea of fate or destiny, but specifically through the lens of relationships between people. This concept supposes that deep human relationships are formed by thousands of layers of past lives in which those two people got closer and closer.